Years old. I live here on North Madison Street. I'm between West Center City and Trinity vicinity. I'm running for state senate. I've been fortunate to gain the wisdom of a lot of my mentors. And with the wisdom of my mentors and my energy, I know I will do a great job representing you in state senate in Dover. Some might say at 27 I'm too young to run, but I don't think so. I've grown up in the tangles of policy, and through all of that I've learned Hi, my name is Jordan Hines. I'm 27 years old. I live here on North Madison Street. I'm between West Center City and Trinity vicinity. I'm running for state senate. I've been fortunate to gain the wisdom of a lot of my mentors. And with the wisdom of my mentors and my energy, I know I will do a great job representing you in state senate in Dover. Some might say at 27 I'm too young to run, but I don't think so. I've grown up in the tangles of policy, and through all of that I've learned how Dover works. I spent much of my youth in the foster care system, and I recognize the need for strong wraparound services for Wilmington's children and families. It took a village to raise me, literally. That's why I volunteer with organizations that work with young people, and why I sit on the board of Boys and Girls Club of Delaware. I know with all the awesome after-school programs and strong role models, young people can pursue their dreams like I did. I think arts is very important. At first I went to public school. I went to Shortledge and then Warner, and then I saw an improvement in my grades when I started going to Cab Calloway. You're using a different side of your brain, and I just immediately, the more I started learning with piano and things like that, my grade, it started registering. I'm like, a little bit better, concentrating and stuff like that. Adversity I've been through is not one that, a lot of people smile at, but it's something that, it's gotten me to this place now. It started with a rough childhood, being abused, foster care, not a good experience. The things that I've learned from those hardships is that everyone has a struggle, and that I'm not the only person that has been through. But when I go down to represent this district in Dover, I need to remember every person that has gone through what I've been through. All right. These are good.
Is that good?
They're really good.
No.
Last person to the playground. Y'all lose. All right. Oh, you know what? That's just showing off. Jordan Hines for state senate. Woo! This is another blessing of mine. My beautiful wife, Dr. Shakilia Hines, and I'm grateful to have her.
Jordan has always been a man of service, and it's what drew me to him when we met at Widener University. I couldn't believe that a kid his age would be organizing a huge fundraiser for this young girl whose family couldn't afford to pay for her health care. And that is what Jordan is. He embodies the change that he wants to be. He's always been a loving person. He's a great husband, and he has always been involved in his community and his church. And I'm just proud to be his wife.
Jordan is going to be a great representative for the city of Wilmington in the Senate, because even as a young kid, he had an ability to make those that he came in contact with feel like they were a part of, like he was really there to help them. And I think that's going to serve him well, because that has become who he is. And as a servant, he is going to be an excellent representative, because he takes with him and he takes to heart everything that he's had to experience, and he takes it with him to help everybody else. Even myself, even when Jordan was with me as a young kid, being part of my life has been richer because I have had the experience of having Jordan with me. Everybody says I've been a blessing to him, but it's the other way around. He's been a blessing to me.
With your support and Jordan's leadership, I know we can improve education.
We can promote job creation and get people to work.
We can reform the criminal justice system, increase housing opportunities for ex-offenders, and improve bail procedures.
We can attack addiction.
We can protect the woman's right to choose.
We can help college students.
And so much more. Join me today as we create a vision for our community that Dover cannot ignore. I'm Jordan Hines, and I'm running for state senate, and I'm asking for your support.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Tyler Berl. I am a resident of the city of Wilmington here. I hope everyone is staying dry on this wet Sunday afternoon. I'm here today to talk to a good friend of mine, Jordan Hines, who's running for state senate in this district, the 3rd district. So we're here to talk to Jordan about his platform, learn a little bit more about him. So Jordan, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, anytime.
Yeah,
I love to talk to you.
Yeah.
All right. So Jordan, last time we were here was about a month ago, and we learned a lot about you. We learned you're running for the 3rd District State Senate against an incumbent candidate who has been in office now for about 40 years, a long time.
Yeah,
it truly is.
It is.
You're a 27-year-old man with a lot of experience, and so I'm glad I'm getting a chance to sit down and talk to you. So, so you're from the east side of Wilmington.
Mm-hmm.
You were raised in the foster care system, and then were taken in by your grandparents.
Right.
You graduated from Cab Calloway School and also then Widener University.
Yes.
On top of that, you've worked for nonprofits. Which ones have you worked for?
So just a few, Boys and Girls Club in Delaware, Metropolitan Wilmington Urban League, worked with the young professionals. Good Lord, there's a list. So.
Well, on top of that, you've also served on several boards of nonprofits as well.
Right.
So the Metropolitan Wilmington Urban League, Young Professionals. You've also served on the Human Relations Commission for the state of Delaware.
Yes.
You've also worked as a legal aid for Newcastle County, and most recently, you have been a legislative assistant for the Wilmington City Council.
Yes.
So that's a long resume that I just went over. What else did I miss?
Well, I'm very humbled to be able to run for office. So I just want to say thanks again. I would say anything you missed, my wife, she's a doctor of physical therapy. She sits on Planned Parenthood's board, very active in the community, very big advocate as relates to health and mental wellness. Yeah, and then my grandmother, she's been very active in in this community as well as out in the county. She just recently moved into the city. Yeah.
Well, Valentine's Day is coming up. You better get them both some flowers. That's all I'm saying.
I will. I already got that planned out. I already do.
All right. So about a month ago, we talked to you. It was right before Martin Luther King Day. You had an entire slate of activities that you were planning for that day. It's a day for service. So why don't you tell me how that went?
So Martin Luther King Day was really fulfilling, not just for me, but for everyone that participated. That was a very long day. I started out working with my wife. My wife introduced me to an organization called My Sister's Keeper, which is headed by Charlotte Miller Lacey. It's an organization that helps young women transition and prepare themselves into their womanhood. And for 7 years, My Sister Keeper has been doing a street cleanup for MLK Day. So my wife and I participated. I wore my pink MSK sweater.
As you should.
I believe real men wear pink. So rocked that out, cleaned up the street with the young girls, and learned a lot about dealing with as young women and what their interests are. Some of them shared with me their interest is arts, and they would like to see more of that in all schools. And that's one of the things that is on my platform I'm running on. Arts plus academics equals excellent students. Following that, I ended the day with being the speaker over at Leadership Academy, which is spearheaded by Khadija Jarman. She works for Interfaith Housing. The Academy was, or at least I should say, my segment that I spoke on was sharing with the participants how to navigate a complex government. And I focused more on letting them know that there is a lot of avenues to start. There's a start gate before anything is finalized on whether it be city, county, or down legislative hall. Where before anything's finalized on the floor, there's committee hearings that the general public can come to and share their opinion as it relates to certain issues. I applauded Councilman Turner for a recent committee hearing that he had with the director of DART. That's been a hot topic issue here in the city of Wilmington. He asked the director to come and speak, and a few constituents. One constituent, Ms. Pat Hinton, she was very adamant about making sure that we have a strategic plan moving forward to let constituents know where the new bus routes are. So, you know, in that Leadership Academy, I shared some things with the participants about, you know, how to navigate through a complex government, and they were really receptive to it.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, so that was about a month ago. What
Yeah.
has your campaign been doing ever since then?
Well, you know, this is a grassroots campaign. So we are very hands-on with the constituents. Day in, day out, we are hitting doors. We are making calls. Not a day goes by that I'm not staying engaged with the actual voters. I've put on blinders and just stay with the voters. And I think, you know, for me, it's a consistency for me. You know, even before running for office, I've stayed consistent with the voters, and that's one thing that I'm learning constituents like consistency, and that's what they want in their next elected leader. So.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
You know, knocking doors is so important, and talking to the residents is so important.
It
I know
is.
You care so much about that.
I do.
What are some of the things that you've been hearing out there?
Well, some of the things I've been hearing is really interesting. You know, the third district for what I'm running for, it's thriving. It's thriving tremendously well. But like anywhere, it has its little issues here and there. And as I keep hitting the doors, I hear various issues as it relates to, you know, the lack of lighting in certain dark alleys. One of the things I had just mentioned is this new DART change over at the Wilmington bus hub, I should say, at Rodney Square. And more resources for youth so they can have more things to do. So I'm hearing things all throughout the district, and I'm grateful to learn everything that I'm learning and sharing some of my truth and my experiences with them as to why I'm running.
Now, have you built some of those concerns into your platform?
I have. I actually have. So, as I mentioned before, when working with the MSK young ladies, speaking about arts, I speak to how, you know, arts plus academics equals excellent students. You know, Senator Chris Coons said that best at Cab Calloway's 25th anniversary. Honestly, I saw an improvement for myself when I went from Warren Elementary School to Cab in my GPA. One of the other things too that I'm speaking on is, you know, retaining more business leaders and helping establish a better economy for our residents in this district. So yes, I have been incorporating the issues that I'm hearing into my platform.
So what else is in there? You talked about education, you talked about economic development. What else are you concerned about?
Some of the things I'm concerned about is better wraparound services for youth and families. That's near and dear to my heart. And then I would say, lastly, is more health advocacy. You know, as I mentioned, my wife sits on Planned Parenthood's board, and you know, she's had her own experiences while we were at Wide University with young girls needing the help of Planned Parenthood as well as herself. And you know, everything that I'm advocating for is not smokescreen. It's from personal experience. And that's what we need in our elected leaders, not putting up the smokescreen, but tackling issues that your everyday constituent is dealing with.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think the last thing that you had on there is criminal justice, right?
Yes, criminal justice, yes.
And community safety.
And community safety, that is a biggie for me. And one of the things on criminal justice, I'm grateful to see Senator Brian Townsend and State Rep J.J. Johnson, they pushed a huge bail reform in the state Senate. And that was one of the first things that I was advocating for on my platform when I first announced, was bail reform. That helps not just our average families, but it also helps us economically. If we can get the young man who's a father and had low-level misdemeanor and is in prison and can't afford that $3,000 bail at home, but yet we scream about how our prisons are oversaturated, you're killing two birds with one stone. You're allowing this gentleman to be home to take care of his children, where the single mom isn't having to take care of those children by themselves. So, and then you're also giving this man an opportunity to have a job. So, for me, I was grateful to see that bail reform was passed. So,
Completely agree.
yeah.
Completely agree. I see that our city is growing. I see great things happening on the horizons, but I know we always have to be concerned about the individual who's not doing as well as us. And I think you're spot on with these platform items, that it's when you care about economic development, when you care about education, when you care about criminal justice and community safety, you're really going to help out the entire community. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
That's why we're friends. All right, we're gonna take a quick break here. When we come back, we're gonna talk more about the community that Jordan lives in and where he thinks that we can go from here.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan.
All right, thanks. Hi, my name is Jordan Hines. I'm 27 years old. I live here on North Madison Street. I'm between West Center City and Trinity vicinity. I'm running for state senate. I've been fortunate to gain the wisdom of a lot of my mentors. And with the wisdom of my mentors and my energy, I know I will do a great job representing you in state senate in Dover. Some might say at 27 I'm too young to run, but I don't think so. I've grown up in the tangles of policy, and through all of that I've learned how Dover works. I spent much of my youth in the foster care system, and I recognize the need for strong wraparound services for Wilmington's children and families. It took a village to raise me, literally. That's why I volunteer with organizations that work with young people, and why I sit on the board of Boys and Girls Club of Delaware. I know with all the awesome after-school programs and strong role models, young people can pursue their dreams like I did. I think arts is very important. At first I went to public school. I went to Shortledge and then Warner, and then I saw an improvement in my grades when I started going to Cab Calloway. You're using a different side of your brain, and I just immediately, the more I started learning with piano and things like that, my grade, it started registering. I'm like, a little bit better, concentrating and stuff like that. Adversity I've been through is not one that, a lot of people smile at, but it's something that, it's gotten me to this place now. It started with a rough childhood, being abused, foster care, not a good experience. The things that I've learned from those hardships is that everyone has a struggle, and that I'm not the only person that has been through. But when I go down to represent this district in Dover, I need to remember every person that has gone through what I've been through. All right. These are good.
Is that good?
They're really good. No. Last person to the playground. Y'all lose.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us again. My name is Tyler Berl. I'm a resident of here, the city of Wilmington, and also a great friend, I hope, of
you are.
Candidate Jordan Hines, who's running for 3rd District State Senate here in the city of Wilmington. So Jordan, just because I don't think we've hit this yet, why don't you talk about the boundaries of this 3rd District?
Okay, so what it encompasses runs from Lancaster Pike all the way down to North Church Street, East 13th Street, all the way, if you're on the east side, that is, East 13th Street, Clifford Brown Walk. We have a Little Italy area, Maryland Ave into Newport Pike. So it's a very large district, and it's west of the Brandywine. So.
And what neighborhood do you live in?
I live in West Center City.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in West Center City. Really love the neighborhood, love my neighbors, really love the community. So.
It strikes me that everything that you talk about, the platform, your background, is really centered on your community. It's something that you talk about incessantly. And so I want to know why you've built your platform this way and why you really care about this community and seeing this community grow. Well,
for me, number one, this is home. I'm born and raised on the east side of Wilmington. A lot of folks, when you look at my background, a lot of folks would agree by stating that, I'm not your average African-American male that should be here running for state senate. Statistics have shown that, I should still be on the street doing God only knows what. I should be a dropout out of school. And I'm grateful for the blessings of my mentors and of folks in the community. I grew up at right at the time when, if you got in trouble on the street, your neighbor, the woman that lived next door to my house that wasn't even my mother, she corrected me and also let my mother know. So I'm grateful for that foundation. And I'm now ready to give that back because this is home for me. I want to give back the very thing that has been given to me, and that is a foundation of support.
I think that's fantastic. So But I don't want to let you go here. I want to dive into this community just a little bit more. Do you think that our city, your district, is, or what would be your district, is thriving? Do you find our downtowns, our Main Street is successful?
I do. You know, downtown Wilmington is thriving, but the 3rd district is not just downtown Wilmington. You know, downtown Wilmington has a lot of great assets to it. You know, it has all the arts facilities, from Christina Cultural Arts Center to the Grand Opera House to Playhouse, and all the nice eateries. And I do see downtown thriving, and it's growing and maintaining its history as it develops. However, I would like to see more development in other neighborhoods throughout the 3rd Senatorial District. There's other great parts of this district too. You know, when you go down Maryland Ave, there's a wonderful park over there that we sometimes take my dog Max to. Even in my own neighborhood, West Center City, the parks down there, there's right across from William Hicks Anderson Center. So there's a lot of areas that I would encourage individuals to look into. Little Italy and its wonderful eateries down there. There's an Italian place that I went to, I can't think of the name of it, but Cyril Poppy introduced me to it. It was great to be down there and have different variety of eats and foods to go to, and restaurants. So,
one thing that strikes me is in any thriving city, you have multiple centers with multiple flavors, their own distinct characteristics, and that's what you need. And it seems like right now, a lot of the focus is on downtown Market Street, which is fantastic, and you're seeing the successes there.
Right.
But it strikes me, and I feel like you feel the same way, is that there's things that we can do in the city to make sure that our neighborhoods are thriving and that they have a distinct, their own distinct feel. Could you just talk about that a little bit?
No, I agree 100%. There are, this city has a lot of history to it, and we have to maintain its history. You know, recently there was a opening of one of the new apartments on Market Street downtown. Buccini Poland's been working on it, maintain the structure and history of it, and it looks great. But it's, again, not just downtown, it's all within the 3rd district. There's a lot of history and rich areas that we need to maintain its history. But we need to bring those development ideas all throughout, not just in one area.
Yeah, you know what, I think if you look at parts of the city, you have West Side Rises, East Side grows, East Side Rises. Do fantastic jobs doing community engagement. So you're really evolving the city in the image of that the residents want. They're taking active involvement. And so I think that's a fantastic thing to do. And so I want you to talk about how you would involve residents in the decision process that a state senator would have.
So, you know, honestly, constituents, I feel, or the residents of the actual district, need to see consistency from their elected leaders. For so long, we've had elected leaders get into this position where they get pigeonholed or get tunnel vision in just staying in their office. You know, having been the representative for other elected officials, I've been able to multitask, been able to go in, do work, and, you know, analyze policy and provide opinions and so forth, and still translate that information, or not translate, but communicate that information to the actual residents of the district, and vice versa, and taking the concerns of constituents to our elected officials. So, you know, my hope, and well, not only my hope, I know within myself that my hope when I get into this role is I will continue my consistency as I have been as the staffer for other electeds, but in the more formal capacity, I'll continue that streak. When I get down to Dover, you know, I'm taking the residents with me and their concerns and their opinions and communicating that information back.
Jordan, I love talking to you, but I'm getting told that we're wrapping up here soon. So I want to find out, or I want the residents to find out ways that they can get involved with you.
Well, residents can definitely visit our website at hinesforsenate.com. You know, right now, as I said earlier, we have been hitting doors, we've been making calls. So I encourage every constituent, every resident of this district to get involved. You know, this is a big election year. I'm 27 years old and Democrat, and I'm running against an incumbent that's been in office for about 40 years. And if you want consistency, I encourage you to get involved. Visit our website and sign up. We have nights where we're phone banking from 5 to 8. We have nights and even sometimes in mid-afternoon we're hitting on doors. So I encourage everyone to visit the website and sign up, and, you know, give us a call. My phone number's on there. There's a sign-up sheet. So.
Okay, and do you have any events coming up?
We do. We have a few events. Our first one coming up is in end of February. I'm going to be speaking at one of the senior high rises downtown, as well as a fundraiser coming up at the Monday Club. So we have a lot of events coming up, and I'm very excited for it. And you know, there's a constant event that we have going on. And that is canvassing and phone banking, and I need everyone's support. So I encourage everyone to sign up and get involved. That is an everyday thing. There's not a day goes by where we're not canvassing.
All right, and so we have one more minute. I want you to give them just a quick spiel about why they should elect Jordan Hines for the 3rd District here in Wilmington.
I want voters to understand that by voting for me, you're voting for bold leadership. You're voting for someone that's not afraid to cross the aisle and work with both sides, or both parties, I should say. You're voting for someone that's not afraid to speak up when opportunity presents itself to advocate for not just the constituents, but I'm asking to be into a leadership position and voting on legislation that affects the entire state. So I'm energized. I have a lot of mentors that have provided me with a lot of foundation, with wisdom, and I don't know everything. I got 2 years to listen more with and one mouth to speak less with. And by voting for me, again, you're voting for bold leadership, someone that's going to be consistent. I've been consistent in my role as a staffer for other elected officials, and I'm going to continue that streak once I get into this formal capacity.
But you're running for to run down in Dover, but you're here in the city of Wilmington.
Right.
Is that correct?
Correct.
And you
Correct.
want to represent this district.
I want to represent this district, yes.
Jordan, I always love talking to you.
Thank you, Tyler.
I'll see you again soon.
I appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much.
No.
Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you coming in with us, and we hope to be back here next month talking with Jordan just a little bit more. I always love talking to you. Thank you, everyone. I hope to see you all again. Be safe.
Hi, my name is Jordan Hines. I'm 27 years old. I live here on North Madison Street. I'm between West Center City and Trinity vicinity. I'm running for state senate. I've been fortunate to gain the wisdom of a lot of my mentors. And with the wisdom of my mentors and my energy, I know I will do a great job representing you in state senate in Dover. Some might say at 27 I'm too young to run, but I don't think so. I've grown up in the tangles of policy, and through all of that I've learned how Dover works. I spent much of my youth in the foster care system, and I recognize the need for strong wraparound services for Wilmington's children and families. It took a village to raise me, literally. That's why I volunteer with organizations that work with young people, and why I sit on the board of Boys and Girls Club of Delaware. I know with all the awesome after-school programs and strong role models, young people can pursue their dreams like I did. I think arts is very important. At first I went to public school. I went to Shortledge and then Warner. And then I saw an improvement in my grades when I started going to Cab Calloway. You're using a different side of your brain. And I just immediately, the more I started learning with piano and things like that, my grade, it started registering. I'm like, a little bit better, concentrating and stuff like that. Adversity I've been through is not one that, you know, a lot of people smile at, but it's something that, you know, it's gotten me to this place now. It started with a rough childhood, being abused, foster care, not a good experience. The things that I've learned from those hardships is that everyone has a struggle, and that I'm not the only person that has been through. But when I go down to represent this district in Dover, I need to remember every person that has gone through what I've been through. All right. These are good.
Is that good?
They're really good. No. Last person to the playground. Y'all lose.